everybody, it's Melissa from Buckeye Girls Reason Things. We are making, well, this recipe comes by a few different names. Salisberry steak is one of them. Poor man steak is another one. And I had a relative that called these graters. So whatever you like, whatever you call these, we are making them today. It's a dish by many different names, but we're going to make that today. Hey, Barb. Hey, Barbara. See you tonight, Barbara. You have a good day, girl. Hey, Donna. Thank you. We are making Salisbury steak, or as my Amish neighbors called it, poor man steak. This is 2 pounds of hamburger. Let me get the camera down there. 2 pounds of hamburger. And then I normally use Italian seasoning, but I didn't have it. I usually use half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, but I don't have it, so I'm using 1/4 of a teaspoon of oregano and basil in its place. And some of this basil came from my garden, so it might be a little chunkier than normal. And then I'm going to use a teaspoon of garlic salt. And I'm going to do this recipe the way my mama used to. And this is Montreal steak seasoning, which I'm adding this in. She didn't add this in, but I'm going to. Thank you. If I can get the top off. Because I think it gives it a better steak flavor with a little bit of that in there. And then I'm going to go over to the next bowl. That's our meat. And this is a cup of milk. 1 cup of milk. This is how she do it. This is just a slice of bread. It could be white bread, wheat bread, whatever. And she always soaked her bread. Got her bread nice and moist. And then she'd add that into the beef. Then she'd have a packet of crackers. And if you hear the lawnmower buzzing, Mr. Thad Sawinski's home and he's mowing the yard. He's being the lawn boy. So my lawn boy's out there working. Oh, I'll tell you a story. Hey, Connie, do you want to hear a story? Hey, Donna, do you want to hear a story? Bart, you want to hear a story? I got a funny story. Okay, Thad went to work this week, and you know, he drives a semi-truck. Everybody knows he drives a semi-truck for the food industry. Well, guess what stopped working on his truck this week? Hey, Kim, his door. His door stopped working. It wouldn't open, and it wouldn't open at all. So he got stuck. He was sliding himself in both doors. It wasn't just the driver's door. It wasn't the passenger door. It was both doors stopped working. And so he'd have to leave his window rolled down and slide in and out of his truck through the window. Who doesn't want a video of this? I said, I could have made good money on YouTube. You sliding in and out of your semi like it was the General Lee. Just saying. And I said, who's you going to call when you get arrested sliding in and out of your semi-truck through the window because they're going to think you're breaking into your own vehicle? Who you going to call? Hope you ain't calling me. Call your boss on that one. She's the one that didn't fix your truck. she told him he could take another truck because he's going to go tonight up to Michigan. And that truck, it doesn't have caution lights or turning signals. So he went from the General Lee to one that doesn't have any lights. I don't know what's going on with that company. Okay, 1 pack of crackers. Yeah, who wouldn't want to see Thad sliding in and out of his truck? Oh, I forgot the egg. Like the General Lee. Okay, now I'm gonna mix this really good, and it's just easier to do it with your hands. I always wash my hands before I start the videos anyway, and I'm gonna start washing them again after I get done with this mess. Now I'm gonna make. Yeah, I had to laugh, but I did tell him not to call me when he gets arrested. When you get arrested on the road, don't call your wife. Call your boss. I remember getting those calls when my dad had a his little trucking company that he had. I'd get calls when stuff like that happened. Hey Vicky. Hey Josie. I'm just making little, well, I guess they're hamburgers, but these are Salisbury steak. I'm trying. My mom wished that I sucked at this, which I probably do. That'll eat them. Hey Linda. Okay, I'm gonna make these hamburgers, and then I'll fry them, and then I'll show you what the gravy is. Because some of these well, y'all know that since he works in the trucking industry, I make stuff up and I freeze it for him, and he puts it in his freezer for work. Well, this is something that's going in his freezer. Because, yep, those big rigs has a freezer. He's got a Keurig, he's got a freezer, he's got a microwave. All in his truck. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Oh, by the way, Thad said he'd like to do a cooking video. Hey, Glory. Hey, Patty. Hey, Carolyn. Sorry, I was washing my hands. Thad said he'd like to do a cooking video on cooking in his big truck. Wouldn't that be cool? He'd show you how you can cook in your semi. Oh. That one's a little too fat. You could do these on the grill, but I'm going to just do them here on the stove top to demonstrate how to get these cooked up. Poor shipping supervisor, he came home from work. Hey Teresa, he came home from work today, and these are Salisbury steaks. I'm making Salisbury steak. He came home from work today, and he didn't hardly get in the door, and the shipping supervisor got an Etsy sale. So he had to go ship something. Yeah, I think it would be fun to watch if he decided to do that. I think that'd be kind of fun. Because a lot of people don't know all the things that they have in their semi truck. In my crock pot, I've already put a thing of beef broth, and I fried one onion, and I put a can of mushrooms in there. Hey, Sandy. And the reason I'm making this is I'm going to make like little TV dinners for Thad for on the road. To get, so he can put these in the freezer. Because they're definitely better than store-bought. Yeah, Thad has a thing that's like a crock pot in his truck, and that he can plug it in and put a roast and potatoes and carrots and stuff in there and go down the road and make a stew. Hey Judy, we're making Salisbury steaks. I'm just frying them up right now. I came on a little early, but I've been having a good day. I have a teaspoon of Montreal steak seasoning, basically a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of garlic salt. I have one slice of bread that I soaked in a cup of milk. And I have a package of crackers and one egg. That's what's in the burgers. And 2 pounds of ground beef. And in the crock pot, I have one of the packages of beef broth, 1 onion already fried, and 1 can of mushrooms, but you can leave out the mushrooms if you don't like. You can leave out the onions if you don't like. Then when I get it all finished, I will add 1 can of mushroom soup. And that's all the ingredients in the dish. Hey, Ruth. If you think your friends would be interested in the recipe or of how to make this, make sure to share it with them. Because you know, all of us is getting in that rut where you're not sure what you want to cook next. Seems like you fix the same thing over and over. Girl, I wish you were closer. I wish I had a neighbor closer that we could share. I used to have a neighbor that we would share leftovers. I don't have that anymore. I had a neighbor that she would make too much and she'd bring it to my house, and I'd make too much and I'd take it to her. And it was the best. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Instead, I have Barb who makes these things and makes me hungry for them, and then I have to turn around and make them. If you don't know Barb from Bling Your Door and more. She's always sending me pictures of chili and spaghetti and making me hungry. Hey, Evelyn. Oh, thanks, Ruth. Yeah, I love her, but she's always making me hungry. I keep telling her, I said, isn't there a way you can mail that to me? And I'm not going to get these completely cooked. I'm just wanting a nice brown coating on them because they're going in the slow cooker anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the slow cooker because you all know I'm bad about plugging that baby in and turning it on. Many a times Dad came home going, hey, what, you have anything made? I said, yeah, it's in the slow cooker. He walks over and goes, oh, that would have been good. And I said, what do you mean that would have been good? He said, you never turned it on. Oops. No, I put the burgers in. I've already got the broth in there. It don't matter. You can put it in before or after. It doesn't matter. Just as long as they all get in the pot. Just as long as they all get in the pot. These last two ain't cooking very well as the other ones. Yeah, it don't matter. Just as long as it all gets in the pot and all gets stirred up well. A lot of times I'll put the broth in first, so I make sure that you just want to make sure this gets stirred in well. You don't want clumpy mushroom soup. I'm going to put the can of mushroom soup in now. Because, y'all, we don't want clumpy mushroom soup. If you don't get it stirred in, you'll get a clump of mushroom soup. And that ain't good. Especially as many burgers as I'm going to have. I have quite a few here. You want to get that stirred in? I'm going to bring you over. This is beef broth, 1 onion, and that I've already fried. I fried it first, and then a can of mushrooms. The biggest thing is you want to, I'm going to go to a whisk, because I want to make sure that soup isn't clumpy. I want to beat up those clumps because it don't taste good when you got clumpy gravy. My mom always said, though, if you have clumpy gravy, it's kind of normal. And my dad said that she didn't have to run her gravy through a strainer. He'd think he got a new wife. Yeah, my dad always said if he didn't have clumpy gravy, he thought he got a new wife or something. So, you know, every now and then you got to keep the clumps. Mom always made sure to keep the clumps because she didn't want that dad to think he got a new wife. Like I said, you can do these on the grill just as easy as I'm doing them in here. But it's easier to show you what I'm doing in here than it is to go back and forth to the grill. So I'm doing them in here for now. The last two, for some reason, they ain't cooking really well, so I'm going to leave them on a little longer because they don't get the heat the other ones are getting. It is called hamburger, ground chuck. Yeah, it's just hamburger. I turned into salisberry steaks. And you don't have to cook these completely through because they're going to cook in here too. They're going to cook in that gravy. I just want to get a nice crust on them. You want to make sure they're down in that good old gravy. Yeah, Salisbury steak, it's made out of ground beef, which I'll put the recipe. I always put the recipe, or one similar to this, on the feed. I think I have a recipe that has everything, but it doesn't have the Montreal seasoning. In the meat is 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, 1 teaspoon of Montreal steak seasoning, a package of crackers, 1 piece of bread soaked in milk, which is a cup of milk that goes in there, and 1 egg. That's what I put in there. And then I mixed it up and made it into hamburgers. In the broth is 1 thing of beef broth, 1 onion that I fried, and 1 can of mushrooms. Because we like mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, you can eliminate the mushrooms. If you don't like onions, you can eliminate the onions. But we like both. And then I topped it and thickened it with 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. That's what it's in there. I haven't made this recipe of my mom's in so long. It's crazy. And I thought, well, I have hamburger out. I had a big package of hamburger out there. I'd make this, and next week I might make chili. But, yeah, and then I'll just cook this on low for about 4 hours until they're nice and done. And I like mine to almost fall apart. But, thanks for joining me, and make sure to follow the page if you like some good recipes. Every Thursday I've been doing recipes. I'm going to get back to crafting, but right now I'm doing recipes and I'm doing a ton of cleaning. So talk to you later. Keep on crafting. Yeah, I need to work on my cookbook. Bye.